Hey, what's up, people? Yeah, today I'm going to do a Father's Day special. Yeah, I did a Mother's Day special. I spoke a little bit about my mom, and actually I have my friend Sam RD3 on here, and he was talking about my mom. But today, Father's Day, yeah. My father was a very, very nice man. Good guy, strong, very powerful looking guy. I'm going to try and get a little picture of him on here as the thumbnail. Yeah, he was in the Marine Corps most of his life. I was actually born on an Army base in 1968 in Orange County, California, on an Army base. My brother was born on in Virginia on an Army base. Yeah, during the Vietnam War we were born. And he stayed in the Marine Corps a very long time. Army brats. I guess after we were born, he got out and he worked for John F. Kennedy Airport. And he would shoot these seagulls that would fuck up the radars and shit like that when the planes are landing. John F. Kennedy Airport. Then he worked for Brinks a couple of years and he became a correction officer for Yaphank out in Long Island. He lived out there in Long Island. My dad was a trip, man. He was a funny fucking dude. Like, he was always so serious and stern, but it was comical almost, you know, especially when he was wrong on some kind of theory or something. Like, oh, that dude was a trip, man. He was a good guy, man. Good dude. Like I said, strong guy, man. You know, a correction officer for many, many years, for decades. He was a correction officer out in Riverhead, Yaphank prison out there. Then he was a correction officer in Criminally Insane. I'll tell you, this man never, ever, I could picture him even stealing a penny. Probably the most honest man I've ever met a day in my life. Yeah. But, yeah, he was in the military. He made a career out of everything, one way or the other. I mean, he was actually, I believe, the nation's best marksman from like 1966 to 67, or before my brother was born, maybe 64 or something like that. Yeah, I have little clippings of it, newspaper clippings. They were pretty yellowed up and hard to read nowadays, but yeah. He was a good guy, man. He was a trip, man. I'll tell you some stories about him, man. Here's a funny one. A little, you know. Yeah, I have these bubblegum machines. This was outside, I don't know what you would even call it nowadays. This is going back to the early 70s. I don't even know, like a flea market, but like an indoor one. Remember, like they used to do like the airbrushing? You have like little airbrush boots, and you have these things, little goldfish in them, and like little booths, and you have people selling jewelry. Almost like a school flea market nowadays, but this stuff wasn't used. This was new stuff, new items that people could buy stacks of underwear and shit like that. Socks and stuff like that. It's one of, anyway, it's really got nothing to do with the story, but in the vestibules to these big places, like a big flat building, you know, it's out in Long Island this happened, Smithtown, Long Island, where they wind up settling. So, yeah, this big thing, it's like a big warehouse almost, but it's just filled with little booths of shit that people sell, picture frames and stuff like that, you know. It's almost like a comic book convention, but like I said, it's all new shit. But the way it's set up would be like a comic book convention. Anyway, you go through one door from the parking lot to get into the next door. You know? And these things, it's like a bubblegum machine. It's all the shit I'm explaining, it really boils down to a fucking bubblegum machine. Kind of bubblegum machine, right? So as I was walking, I see a nice bubblegum, a big fucking ball, like a bubblegum ball. Of course, it hasn't been eaten or nothing. It's like it fell out and no one got it, you know? So I saw that shit, you know, I go, picked it up, I put him about real quick, you know, walking. He stops. What the fuck did you do? You know, trying to play dumb and shit. You know. He said, that's disgusting, you know, people piss here, and yeah, he goes off, you know. Real funny dude, man, when it comes to arguing. Oh, this, that. I remember some lady was walking by. She said, you get your hands off that kid. I'll have you locked up before you could say Jack Rabbit. So he looks at her, right? It said something like that. Yeah, you better, don't you dare hit that kid. I'll have you locked up before I say Jack Rabbit or something. So he grabs me by the neck like this, the collar. So he said, Jack Rabbit, Jack Rabbit, Jack Rabbit, Jack Rabbit, Jack Rabbit. You know, and I was like, slap the shit out of me. And he pushed me like this. You know. Go back, you know. I remember, like, the lady was just like, huh, and like she left and shit. Meanwhile, I'm like all fucked up. I'm like, you know, he's like, you know, hey, come on, this thing. I mean, he was already mad too, so, you know, that wasn't, like, it's not like he just did that because of a piece of candy on the floor. My father was a good guy, I like him. It was back in the 70s, but also earlier that day from that flea market thing, I got caught stealing these rubber worms that you put on a fish hook, you know, for fishing. That's another thing they don't have that. You see, I'm still a little fucked up from that shit, man, I'm telling you. Pneumonia is no joke. But yeah, another funny thing, you see, he lived out in Long Island, we lived in the city here in Manhattan. My mother moved in with her friends over here on the Upper East Side, these Irish family. Actually, same people she knew before she married my father, because my mother's from Ireland. My father's pretty much German Dutch, you know. Yeah, Dutch, maybe a little Scottish. But yeah, Dyer, like Dyer, you know, Dyer's like some of the first settlers in these parts of the fucking world, you know. I mean, of course, other than American Indians and shit. But, yeah, I can tell you another funny one. So you had this nail clipper, right? You know, mother and father was divorced, and I was a little kid. They'd pack us up and send us out to Long Island, Smithtown, Long Island, for the summer vacation when school lets out. You know, 10, 11, 12 years old, shit like that. So, you know, go out there, and it was pretty cool. I mean, we pretty much just smoked weed and take a bunch of LSD and mushrooms and shit like that with our cousins. You know, we had cousins and family that were out there and shit. So, you know, we were young kids and shit, barely even teenagers and shit. You know, go out there, listen to Pink Floyd and shit, walk around the woods and shit, go fishing and shit. It's cool, it was fun, you know, catch some frogs and whatnot. But, yeah, now my father has a fucking nail clipper. Like a nail clipper. Like back then, I don't know, maybe a quarter or something, a metal nail clipper. You clip your nails with, you know. One day I broke that fucking thing. Went, bang, the piece fell apart and shit. Oh shit. So I put it back on his counter and shit, you know. Oh man, he flipped the fuck out. He was like, I could have this. You know, he noticed it. He asked my brother first. He's like, Sean, did you break my nail clipper? My brother's like, no, I don't know about no nail clipper. Rabbit, come here, you broke my fucking nail clipper? Like, nah, he's like, it's broken. It's clearly in two different pieces. Like, yo, here we go off, man. This dude was a fucking trip, man. He's like, I can have this nail clipper till the day I die. I can leave this nail clipper in my will to someone else, and they can have it till the day they die, and it won't break. It's metal. How did you break the fucking nail? Yeah, that dude, and I swear like 20 fucking years could pass. And one day at Thanksgiving or some shit, sitting there, you know, yeah, that nail clipper, he's like, ah, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, he was a trip, man. He was a good dude, man. Never smoked, never smoked. He drank, he had a little drink here and there, but I'm not like my mother. He wouldn't get all drunk and yell and scream and start attacking people and shit. He'd just pretty much have a couple of drinks and go to bed and stuff, you know. Everything, you know, like a very honest man. I never picture him doing anything wrong, you know. Yeah, I think he passed away in '94. I remember we went out to his house. Yeah, he was a good guy, man. Fucking, that shit kind of hit me. I was like, wow. Like, he didn't even get to collect his first fucking, like, retirement check. That shit was actually in the fucking mailbox, man. Fucking dude had a heart attack in his sleep. Yeah, that shit did something to me, man. I'm like, wow, here's a man that did it all he was supposed to do, you know? Did everything, man. Fought for his fucking country several times. Got shot and shit like that over there in Vietnam, you know? Came back very high-held, you know, always working, you know, public servant, this, that, shooting seagulls in airports and this and that. You know, always did exactly what he was supposed to. It's like his turn. Like, I remember him actually talking to me. I was married myself, living up in the Bronx with this girl, Deborah. I was on Marion Avenue back then. 2787 Marion Avenue I was living up in the Bronx. Yeah. He would talk to me and say, yeah, I'm retired, you know, so, you know, come out whenever you want. And we can hang out, you know, go target practice and this and that. And, you know, the fish are probably biting, you know. I was like, wow, yeah, we're going to do that, Dad. Yeah, we're definitely going to do that. But, of course, didn't get around to it, you know. But, yeah, like, I fucking do that shit kind of fucked my head up, man. I'm like, yo, this is the moment when he's supposed to, like, be able to chill. And, like, that's what it's all about, you know. So I kind of told myself, man, I ain't going to run myself ragged, man. You know, he really did. Like, he did what he was supposed to, you know. And then, like I said, the fucking retirement check was actually in the fucking mailbox of the fucking thing. And my brother, we went out there and shit, you know, together. Looking around, hey, look, he's got mail. Look at the fucking mail, bigger and shit, you know. Yo, peace, people. Happy Father's Day to all you fathers and all you mothers that are doing what the fathers should be doing. Take care. Yeah. One more thing. I was just thinking about, like always, I click off and I think of something. I guess the best way to describe my pops would probably be like that dude from that 70s show. You ever see The Father? Red, right? Yeah, Red. From that 70s show. That'd be my dad, yeah. Like, pretty much, like, always serious, but almost, it becomes comical. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, nah, believe me, man. Like I said, the man was a correction officer for many years. He could throw some of the fucking beating, man. You know, yeah, he was very powerful, man, very strong. Knew how to fight, definitely knew how to throw down, man. And that motherfucker grabbed me like a man, like, hurrah! You're like, whoa, you think you're out and shit, you know? He catches one little piece of you, like, you know, you think you're free and clear and shit. Yeah, nah, big, not like, he was actually shorter than me. I'm 6'4". He was like almost 6'3", 6'2". Like a big dude, man. Big arms, big legs, big strong guy. On his right arm, he had a tattoo of the Marine Corps insignia with the bird, the eagle, and the world. On the left arm, he had a hula dancer, a topless hula dancer. And he used to go and do some shit with his fingers. He'd move his fingers or something, and the girl's tits would move, you know? Yeah, that was his little gimmick, you know? Yeah, real Marine guy, man, definitely. I remember we'd go out there summer vacation, like I said. First thing you do is cut her hair down, you know? It's funny, I actually still do that till this day. When the summer comes, I shave my head down. In the winter, I let it grow, you know, and then I shave it. Yeah, that's still to this day. It's funny, certain things stay with you. People like, you look like a dope smoker. Come on, this, that, blah, 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 you know. And I actually still do it the same way, too. My son cuts my hair. I used to cut his, but he don't like that style no more. You know, I don't blame him, you know. It's like some fucking weird, like, baldy shit, you know, for a kid, maybe it's not their style. But yeah, early on we used to do it. And he still cuts mine. He actually did this haircut. Now it's actually grown in, I think like last week or something, yeah. He did my haircut. My father used to do ours and stuff. Yeah, very, like, he took the military home with him when he got out of there. Plus, I believe a lot of the prison stuff that he witnessed in the prisons, like dealing with inmates and shit like that, like he got crafty. Like, he didn't throw out much. And the man was recycling stuff before the recycling program ever existed. Like, he'd be driving shit out to Hot Pod and all types of shit just to throw out these Hoffman soda bottles. He'd bring them over to this place, I don't know, a highway or nothing else, a child. He'd bring back the bottles in these plastic cases, and they give you full ones. It would say Hoffman soda. I believe it's at Hoffman's, H or something or another, to the best of my knowledge. And he'd bring those over, and you know, when those finish, you do the same thing. Same thing with fucking milk and shit. Like, yeah, it was very like earth conscious, you know, very like way before his time, you know. Very military, very structured. And, you know, he'd have us washing out our underwear and shit. We used to joke, like, you fucking guys like fucking inmates up in here, you know, me and my brother and shit. I'll tell you, once my brother actually got arrested out there and was put in the fucking prison. And then we used to call my father the guards, you know, that worked under him at one point, actually. He kind of riz up there. At one point, he was working for the sheriff's office. Yeah, Gordon C. Dyer, Gordon Charles Dyer. Yeah, he, at one point, yeah, it was... Anyway, my brother gets caught. And they used to joke with my dad, the other correction officer, they call him Duffy. Because apparently there was a baseball player called Duffy Dyer. So, hey, Duff, we got another Dyer down here, you know, bigger as shit. You know, my dad comes down there, my fucking brother and shit. It's like, yo, yeah, my dad did not like that shit, man. He told me, man, they let him live that shit down for a minute, man. Yeah, he was tight, yeah. Yeah, he didn't fuck around, man, yeah. Good guy, man. Definitely a trip, you know. You know not to do wrong, you know what I'm saying? I mean, back then, a violent hand, right, you know. The guy was strong, man. He was a very powerful man. I mean, like I said, his job description was pretty much throwing around other men. Like, that was what he did for a living. Like, apprehending and holding, restraining other human beings, you know. That's what he did for a living, so. Yeah, he definitely knew how to, you know, get it on. Peace, people.